Hello, my name is James Warren, and today I'll be talking to you guys about creation of success. Parents can have more influence than what we believe. We're going to discuss in what ways a parent can influence, can make or break a child's future. Parents that get involved can influence their child's life from beyond education. A parent can influence their child to do whatever they want. They can influence them to go to school, or they can influence them to drop out. Children will see the parents are involved and do better in school because they know their parents will not tolerate bad grades. So they'll go to school and they'll do their work because they know if they come home, the parents aren't going to have that. When parents are involved, children become better thinkers and better social skills for future options. So for instance, if a teenager goes to Walmart and has an interview, from him being involved in his education, he'll do great in that interview. And maybe if another higher business like a bank wants to give him an interview, he'll know how to pronunciate things and talk. Today I'd like for you to realize that parents that get involved in a child's education raise better and more successful children than ones that don't. For instance, you have a child that goes to school every day, comes home and does his homework because he knows his mother wants him to do his homework. And then you have another one that comes home, his mother asks him if he has homework and he says no. But then he really does. But the parent doesn't care. So he goes out and plays basketball with his friends all night till 11 o'clock, maybe till midnight, and then comes home and goes to school the next day, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Then you have these kids that go hang out with their friends after school because their parents aren't involved. But the ones that are at home, and they're getting a good education. I have some statistics for you today to prove that parents that are involved have raised more successful ones than that or not. According to Greg Olson, coordinator at Pearson, 41% of students that have a parent involved will attend college. 32% will complete college. The ones with parents not involved, 28% will attend, and only 9% will complete their studies. That being said, with a parent involved, 1 out of every 3 children will complete college. If there's a parent not involved, 1 out of every 10 will. Which one do you want your child a part of? Out of 85 student polled, they said that when a parent was involved, it was easier to transition into high school and to college. And only 1% of them children dropped out of high school. That's like 1.2 out of 85 kids when parents were involved. That's great. Students that have parents that get involved have a better chance and have a more successful life, according to Duke University. Talk to your child. Ask them what they need. Don't just give up on them. Let them know you're here for them. Let them know you love them and you want them to have an education. Get a good understanding of what they need. Go to school. Ask if they need help. Ask the teachers, do they have homework? It showed that parents that attend college have a better understanding of getting involved and tend to raise more successful ones. Also, parents that did not have a college education, they raise successful children as well. Because they either went through not having a parent that was involved, or, well, when they did not get involved, they pushed their children because they understand what it's like to not have that child involved. So they pushed them to levels that they didn't reach. And the parents that did not get involved also have a 50% chance of their children not even going to college or dropping out. We have discussed the statistics for children that have parents involved. Now I'll tell you about the ones not involved. Many parents have negative impacts on their children's life. Most parents, there are parents that are involved in their children's education and life, but the ones that aren't, they just let them do what they want. They'll send them to the streets and let them, if they want, sell drugs. That's not a good example to set a good example for your child. According to Dr. Rachel, author of Involved Parent, not being involved can involve more than low self-esteem. It can cause low grades. Not only low grades, it can have kids be absent from school. And when they're absent from school, they're going to get kicked out. So they tend to drop out. And not only that, when they get home, they have really bad behavior because they have no friends. They have nothing to do. They're home all the time. Researchers show that a home environment that does not encourage education sends a message that education is not important. We all know that's not true. Parents that act like they do not care send the message that bad behavior is okay. For example, I'll sit back to when that child was out in the streets doing things that he's not supposed to. A cop walks up to him and tells him that's okay. That's not going to happen. If he's selling drugs, that cop's gonna arrest him. So it's not okay to have bad behavior. Parents can encourage their child to do anything. Get an education or drop out. 75% of inmates incarcerated today say that they did not have parental involvement in their house when it came to education. Mike Ticken from InvisibleChildren.org claimed that if a person would have been involved in education, 25% of them would have never ended up in a court system. That's 1 out of every 4 people inside a jail. They would have never ended up there. Please remember, parents have more influence over their child than we think. I'm going to go back to the stats. You have a parent that's involved, 1 out of every 3 of those child end up going to college or graduating from high school. And when you're not involved, 1 out of 10. I'm pretty sure everybody here would want their child to be 1 out of 3. Parents that get involved influence their children's dreams beyond education. They can influence them to go get a great job in career fields, or even maybe go get their master's degree if they're involved. On a personal note, I can refer to this because when I was in high school, I didn't have that, but I found somebody that pushed me beyond that. And now I'm in college today, and I know that one day, because of this person, I will receive a great education and maybe a great career in the job industry I would like to go in. And it all starts from here. When your child's young, you need to read to them. Let them know that education is very important. When it comes to night, if your child's 1 and you want to read him a bedtime story, do it. So when he gets older, maybe he'll read to himself. I just want to say that stay involved with your children and let them know that education is very important. Thank you.
You were so much better this time.
Does anybody have any questions?
I do.
Yes.
I always have a question. What would you say to parents who don't have the time for their children, who have 2 jobs and are just about making it? What do you say to them? They want their children educated, but they don't have the time to sit there and reason things out because they're trying to figure out the budget. What do you say about that?
Well, maybe at nighttime when they come home, maybe they have 10 or 15 minutes to spend with their child. Like I said, it's all about reading. Just read them a little story. Let them know that education's important and
Okay.
that they're here for you.
I'm so tired. I can't do that. I have to sit down and think about what I'm going to save you for supper. What am I going to give you for supper if my money does not last that long? What do you say to me then?
You let them. You bring them to the table, and while maybe you're trying to figure out something, you talk to them. Let them know that no matter what you're going through, it's not about you. It's about them. That's your child. You
Okay.
need to raise them to
Good
know
answer.
that education is important.
You would have loved my husband. My kitchen was a school.
Mm-hmm.
He brought neighborhood children in and taught them all this modern math. He had been through school, electronic school and everything, and he really taught my neighbor, and they were all at his funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And they made a speech at his funeral saying, I wouldn't be the person that I am if it wasn't for you.
Wow.
And I was so proud of him.
That's good. That's good to hear.
What
Anybody
about
else?
you, Jordan? What do you think?
You have a
I
question?
have a
Miss?
question. What is the percentage of the parents for the children that don't care for that don't graduate?
As I said, it's when the parents aren't involved, only 1 out of 10 of those children end up graduating. And the ones that are involved, 1 out of 3. Anybody else have any questions?
That's quite
Yes,
different.
well, isn't it the kid's responsibility to make sure that they take care of their homework and their studies and stuff like that?
No, not necessarily. You need to mold them.
You've
That
got
education.
Yeah, because parents have to push.
Yes, you
They
need
really
to,
have to
you just need
push.
to mold them as they grow to let them know that
You know, even if the
it's your
kid,
responsibility and theirs.
yeah, because
Show-
even if the kid knows what's wrong, he
Show
knows
that
it's
you're
wrong.
interested in the
You know,
child
yeah,
and
he's gotta be
encourage
pushed.
him to do it.
Otherwise, you beat them up.
So James, I have a question.
Mhm.
So do you think that, the kids that have that parental guidance and that parental push, do you think that them children are better than the ones that don't?
No, they're not better, but the ones that do have a parent involved tend to have a more success, end up having more successful life than the ones that aren't.
You've made me agree with you.
Thank you.
So you think they're gonna be patricians as opposed to plebeians?
Possibly.
Okay,
Thank you.
welcome. Turn it off, you were so much better now.
So we're gonna do an audience analyst now. So I'm just gonna go to each one of you and just tell James how you think that he did on his speech. So, Miss Ronnie, how do you think he did?
Ronnie has a big mouth. And very opinionated. I thought you were so much better this time, so more relaxed. Although I do put into consideration that you do have your idiot cards there,
Yeah.
you know. But otherwise, you're good. You're good, yeah. I have a question though. What
Yeah.
made you get into this? What triggered it?
What triggered me with the subject?
Yes.
Just me seeing a lot of, as like a child, and seeing other
Things
children
that
go
needs to
through
be
this.
done.
So I just wanted to.
You know, because
Touch
I
the
mean, we all
subject.
say a lot of things
It's
that
touchy
have
to
to be
my heart,
done,
basically.
but we don't get into it. We look the other way and say, oh, they'll work it out. You know what I mean?
'Cause
One
it's-
of those things.
Yeah, it's touchy to me. I-
Exactly, right, yeah.
Miss Money, how do you think he did?
I thought you did wonderful. I'm real proud of you, and you know I love you.
Thank you.
And my two boys, my husband really was an influence over the both of them, and they turned out to be good, strong men now from Daddy,
Mhm.
because he really stayed in there with them, and the neighbors' kids, they loved him.
That's good. That's
And
That's
their
great.
parents didn't, like you said, their parents didn't have the time to take up with them, and he did.
That's wonderful.
And they followed him through life to his funeral and told at his funeral, got up and made a speech that they wouldn't be where they're at today if it wasn't for him.
Jordan, how do you think James
I
did?
thought he did really good, and I thought he showed a lot of enthusiasm, and he persuaded me.
Very good. Shannon?
Well, you did a very good job. I mean, it's the first time I've seen you speak, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you really, and you have all the stats. I worked in statistics, by the way, so I know about stats. But you got your stats down good. I don't particularly like them,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
because they're not good. But they're needed, aren't they?
Mhm.
Yeah.
James, I think you did a very good job. Your tone was louder this time, and you really worked on that, so I think that was really good. And your subject matter is wonderful, because I think it's very important that parents are
Very
involved in their
important.
education. So thank you so much.
Yeah. You don't want Ben Carson. You want Donald Trump.